What's up YouTube, it's ZapdosTCG here and welcome to another TCG online match is what I would usually say, but it seems that Pokemon TCG has been taking down the online program for some maintenance, but yeah. Instead of that, I'll give you my tournament report of another league challenge I went to. This time around it was in Holland. I went with some friends and I actually didn't do that well, but I'll give you some great tips for your future tournaments that you definitely should know about. So let's check it out. So my first match, actually before that, you want to see how we traveled. We traveled in style, and now I'll show you a little clip. So as you can see, we went there with an epic road trip with some friends, and actually the people that were in the car that were really great players. So first of all, I'm gonna go with my first match. Actually, I have something written down here. So the first match of the tournament was actually against the person that drove us to the tournament in Holland, which was I'm actually really thankful for that. He's called Garrett. He's a really nice guy, and it's actually he was playing the Landorus Lucario deck with some Seismitoads in there. So that was actually the best match of the day because it was so unexpected, the ending. So he was actually one of the top players of the season already, and he has a ton of championship points. But yeah, we started the game and it went really well. We take some prizes, but at a certain moment I don't draw anything. I run dead. All my resources were run out, so I had to top deck time after time, and 4 turns I didn't do anything while he just uses his Lucarios and Landuses to deal some damage. And yeah, I did. However, I get some decent damage on the board. Almost all his EXs were on a border from being knocked out. So then I end them out of nowhere because I finally top decked something great. So he took 4 prizes already, while I actually didn't take any at that point. But I come back really with the end. He has only 1 card, and then I'm item lock him in combination with some Lysanders, defeating actually all the hurt Pokemon, actually the damaged Pokemon. He had a 3 of those, so I knocked out 2, take 4 prizes, then I'm end him again, and actually he says to me like, yeah, you're the winner, but actually that was not true because he ended his turn, but I actually dagged out. So I said to him, no, you are the winner. He looked surprised and like, yeah, I dagged out. So I was actually was the best comeback I had in a long time, but I could have won, but I decked out for some reason. I didn't pay attention to my resources, and with that my deck was run dry. So it was a great comeback, but I actually was being honest and told him that he won. It was an epic match. I definitely should have recorded that one, but yeah, it's difficult in tournaments to record. So I lost the first round, which was it was kind of disappointing, but on the other hand, it was a really great match, so I didn't mind losing, and he had a great deck, so he deserved the win. So match 2, we go on. I'm not being upset about the first loss. We're going to round 2, and there I was playing someone that I didn't know yet. He was playing quite a competitive deck. Let me guess. You guys take a guess. 3, 2, 1. Yes, Landorus, Lucario. They are actually everywhere. So this time around, I have a great start. Actually not that great, but I have a Trubbish on the active position and a Mewtwo on the bench. Attach a regular energy to my Mewtwo. I was actually planning for my Trubbish to be a sacrificial pawn, and it worked for me. And then I Lysandered out a Lucario on his bench, knocked it out in 1 shot, and from there we go on. Also, I get Seismitoad out there, then my last Lysander on the Landorus, and then I went from there. Well, once I attacked the Landorus 2 times. Actually, he was asleep with the Hypnotoxic Laser, and also with that, being in an item lock turn after turn, he actually didn't actually do anything after that because he had all trainer cards in his hand, and I took 5 prizes until I knocked out all his Pokemon, so he didn't have a bench Pokemon to back him up, and he only took 2 prize cards, which was the first Mewtwo. Actually, not 2 prize cards, it was 3 prize cards. Yeah, the Mewtwo and the Trubbish. So I got the win this time. I felt really great having the 1-1. Also had Mr. Mime on the bench to block some damage from the Landorus, and also the Trubbish as a sacrificial pawn was a great idea. So that was the second match. It felt really great. I was at 1-1, so everything was possible at the tournament. So Also, the thing you should know is that Landorus is weak to water and Lucario is weak to psychic, so with my deck it was kind of decent to have that matchup. Also, the thing you should know, if you want the deck list, is the exact same deck list like in the last League Challenge. I did an episode about that, 79 I believe. So now to match number 3. Match number 3 was against someone I battled before in the Hurt Gold Soul Silver era where I played Magnazone. Actually the same person that actually dunked me with a Pachirisu one time because dunking was possible in the day. I used Pachirisu knocking out a Magnemine, which was really terrible. So now I'm facing the guy again. He's from Holland actually, and I was playing an Yveltal Darkrai Garbodor deck, and he had an amazing start. He had the regular Yveltal. I actually could start the match, and I had the worst start ever, a random Trubbish. So again, I had that twice in a row. So he starts the game. That just, no, I actually didn't have the Trubbish. That was another game. So I actually started with the Seismitoad on the active position, but I didn't have the power actually to put him in an item block. Or did I? Wait. No, I just had a regular water energy to my Seismitoad. I didn't have the DCE, so it was up to him, and he uses actually the Hypnotoxic Laser in combination with the attack of Yveltal and a Muscle Band on the regular Yveltal. So a great start, and actually with that he was also building up stuff on the bench, and my Seismitoad didn't woke up from the Hypnotoxic Laser, so everything was terrible. So my next turn he attacks me again, and I'm forced to retreat. So because I didn't have the option to switch, because I didn't pull it for some reason out of my Juniper, I actually was able to switch with my Seismitoad, and it went from downhill, actually downhill from there. It worked for him building up stuff. He even used Darkrai, and in the beginning of the game I couldn't actually get out item lock because that regular Yveltal was doing way too damage. He was actually 2-hit knock KOing my EXs, because with the Muscle Band and the Hypnotoxic Laser it wasn't, and the Verbank City Gym was also in play, so things didn't go well. But at a certain point I come back and we were standing at two prizes I believe, and from there actually I used the Hypnotoxic Laser, put him in an item lock, Muscle Band, another Seismitoad, and I actually felt really great because his Yveltal EX was going to be knocked out. He was asleep, so there was no way he could switch or use the ability of Darkrai because I had he was asleep, so he couldn't retreat. So it was up to him. He couldn't use Switch, couldn't use Float Stone, he couldn't use anything, but out of nowhere he uses Pokemon Center Lady on me, and I was like, wow. His Yveltal had a ton of energy, so with that he beat my Seismitoad and took his 6 prizes. So that was quite unexpected and entertaining indeed, but I lost, so I was like at 2 losses and 1 win so far. So I didn't felt that great because I actually wanted to have some more championship points to go to Worlds, but it's only a league challenge, so it actually didn't matter that much, and it was a ton of fun to go there. But I actually have to train more actually for the regionals and the nationals, or maybe update my deck a bit. But actually the losses were really unexpected. There were a lot of the 2 losses I had, I could have won them both if luck didn't strike me. So my karma wasn't that good in that tournament. But anyway, next match we're up against a Cobalion Mewtwo Garbodor deck. I start off, I see Cobalion, so I'm like, I can start the game. So I only attach a water energy, even though I have a DC in my hand to the Seismitoad, because I know that Cobalion knocks those off. And with that I have a turn 2 Quaking Punch, some Mewtwo's ready on my bench to take all those Garbodors and Trubbishes down, also the Mewtwo's he has. He actually had 4 Mewtwo's in his deck, so I had to get out the Mewtwo's, and I actually took 6 prizes while he took none. I kept using my Seismitoad because I only with the DCE, Muscle Band, and the Hypnotoxic Lasers I managed to put him in an item lock, and from there I got all the prizes. Actually the last prize was a Mewtwo kill out of nowhere. Used the Float Stone, or actually not Float Stone, a Switch for my active Garbodor, my Seismitoad, getting out Mewtwo, which I was actually had 1 energy, water energy, and then another DCE, and I kept going from there, and Mewtwo EX took everything down. So that was it for the 4th match. Actually now to the 5th and the final match, since in Holland there are only 5 Swiss rounds. Also there were 32 players for a league challenge, which was a lot in that country, because usually it's a bit less. So the last match was kind of weird. I was facing a lady, and she was playing Empoleon Fione. I actually haven't played that deck against that deck because Fione was kind of strange, but I'll explain that later. So I was doing fine, really playing all the stuff I wanted to, having the item lock. She actually had to evolve every Peplup with a 2 Primplup and then to Empoleon slowly, but she was stalling all the time. So actually most of the time, and I had taken down a lot of Pokemon, and she didn't run EXs, so I had to take down 6. So I took 4 prizes already, took 4 down, an Empoleon, a Piplup, another Empoleon. So I took a lot of stuff down, but she didn't run any EXs, and with the stalling the game went on on forever until she finally decides to get the Fiona out there. I had to actually discard some energies to get the Seismitoad out of the active position to actually promote another one because he was almost knocked out and I wanted to have one available and then had switch because it was priced, but later, actually, she used the Fiona. She attaches an energy, attacks with Fiona, and then it's my turn. And actually, she can take the Fiona. She had 2 Fionas. She attacks with the first Fiona for 20 damage, puts him back in her hand, and promotes the other Fiona. So it's my turn, and actually don't have the power to deal 70 damage. So Seismitoad with Muscle Band only deals 50 damage. All my Hypnotoxic lasers were run out since I already took 4 prizes as I said. So I could only deal 50 damage. Then was back to her using the Fiona, getting her back to her hand, and then promoting another Fiona. So it was like a circling around the Fiona and getting her. Actually was really stalling, and until time actually got called because of that stupid stalling method with Fiona. That actually we had 3 turns left to finish the game, and I Lysandered out another Peplup, and she kept using the Fiona time after time, so I took 5 prizes. I only had to take 1, and then the 3 turns were ended, and I didn't take all my prize cards. I only had to take 1 more, and she had to pick like 3 or something, so it was considered a draw, which was really weird because I had taken more prizes. Usually in the previous, like 2 years ago, it was Battle Roads, and then where you had taken the most prizes, you actually win the game. And if it's tied, there's a sudden death. But actually that gets discarded, all those rules are out of the window. And the rule is actually that if you are drawn in a Swiss round, then it's actually a draw. So it's standing like this in the tournament report, so it's a draw. So I had 2 wins, 2 losses, and then a draw. I did actually nothing in that tournament. If you actually count them, you have 2 wins minus 2 losses is 0 and a draw. So I actually had the only thing I did in the tournament is realize 3 tips for you guys. So hopefully you are noting them down. So the first tip is be careful for deck outs. I know usually people are actually playing a lot faster and the axes get knocked out really time after time and you get the prizes before you deck out, but sometimes you deck out without noticing because your opponent plays an N. And when your opponent plays an N, like for example the first match he plays an N, he gets 3 cards, but I have to take 6 cards even though I had 2 cards in my hand. I have to take 6 cards and then draw them from my deck even though I don't want to. So another thing like that, there are other cards like that, so be careful for deck outs. You don't know when to expect them, even it's even a competitive match. So also the second tip is never be overconfident. Your opponent may play unsuspected cards in certain matches that you really have to, you have to play faster because that's actually the last tip. The second tip was still don't be overconfident because your opponent will play unsuspected cards like Pokemon Center Lady because you think, oh, he's item locked and he's poised and asleep, what could go wrong, right? But then they come out with the random card out of nowhere, also Jetses and really weird cards that you don't expect. Be careful of that. And tip number 3 is that you have to play fast in certain matches to actually win the game because some of your opponents will stall and that is actually not pleasant because that way you have a draw and you don't know anything. So I don't have another one of these cards. I won my last league challenge with ease. I had a report in the previous episode, but this is just a random video because I didn't have a TCG online match out today and I just wanted to give you guys those tips if you plan on going to future tournaments. So the other tournaments that are coming up are like at the end of October and then November for regionals in my country and the countries that are laying besides my country. So I'm actually going to go to a lot of them. I'm actually hoping to go to all of them. And that's it for my tournament report and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Hopefully with a TCG online program that they don't actually do maintenance and the stuff like that prevents me from making those videos. And I will thank everyone that has subscribed because you'll get the TCG info. Even though it's bad, you'll still get some tricks and yeah, some tips for your upcoming tournaments. Hopefully I'll do better the next time, be more careful and yeah, pay attention to my tips. So thanks again for watching, I'll be seeing you guys next time. Peace!